Hello, everyone. Bunny the Divine here, and welcome to the Divine Beehive Divine Lounge. And yes, still at the Beehive. I know I told you I was maybe gonna have a different background next time, for chapter 3, which is today, but it didn't happen. I just wasn't feeling it. So I was like, you know what? I'll film when I'm back. I was away for a week. So here I am. And today we are on to chapter 3, where I believe things start to get really hot because now I'm gonna get a little bit into the nitty gritty of things. So, of course, my letters will continue and I'll be sharing. Um, I just wrote chapter 10, to be honest, and I just sent it per email. Now I'm filming chapter 3. And what I will do is I'll start sharing my method. And this is the first time I talk about it in my letter. So the timing is really perfect. And one thing I have to tell you is first, I don't know where I put my straw. So actually, I have my protein shake here with me. But also, I broke my cup. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So I'm thinking about rhinestoning it, because actually the actual cup is fine inside. It's just the outer layer. So I think that if I rhinestone it, it will stay because I really like this lid. So I'll probably keep it. Yeah. So that's your intro. Now, chapter 3. Here's the moment where I want to share with you about the divine method. And this is difficult to categorize because you could see it as a method to teach burlesque, but in fact, it's a more accurate way to, if I describe it as it's a burlesque method that helps you re-embody, reclaim your feminine power. And the kind of energy that I am kind of inciting, is that a word that I want to use? Bringing to the surface is not that girly. It's more of a predator kind of energy. It's that dangerous feminine. It's not the, it is soft, of course, but at the same time, it's that dangerous one. It's the kind of don't mess with me vibe, I want to say. And because that's very powerful, and that's where I want my women to be. And I want to share first what it is and how it happened. So the divine method is pretty much my connection between how I see it, how I feel it, and burlesque movement, and how to translate it into other areas of your life. So if you're looking purely for a burlesque class, there is plenty of them online, and they're pretty good. I know just, by name, Trixie Blue, Ivana de Lune just launched one, sounds amazing. Maison Burlesque, chef's kiss. So if you're looking for burlesque classes, with choreography, technique, and etc., those are probably the ones that spring to mind. They're really good, online, accessible everywhere. I'm sure you have some in your town. This is not what the divine method is about. What I noticed is just recently, this year, I've been teaching now for 5 years. And every time I translate a movement, every time I create choreography, it comes from first some of my story, second, some of the traits and feminine vibes that I want to explore. I was just talking today to my students about, we do this move in which you do a little bit of a face and then you turn your hair and then you have your arms up. And the thing is, I remember not feeling comfortable doing that. And I remember like flying, for example, and I never want to sleep on a plane with my hands up because it feels like you're very exposed somehow, your chest and your hands. I almost want to sleep, like covered and hugging myself. Until one day I did. And I was so lucky because it was, according to some people who worked for Swiss before, they told me there was like a 6-month period in which Swiss would serve ice cream on cones, on waffle cones, on their trips. And I was there and I remember I was sleeping, very chill. And then actually someone did close my window. I assumed, the flight attendant. And then she woke me up later. Well, she saw me waking up slowly, and then she offered me, and I just wake up with this beautiful ice cream cone in front of me, and I'm like, wow, so delicious. And that was so good. And this is behind this whole thing, Every time you try something that may be uncomfortable and something that shouldn't, right? Like it's my arms, it's my body, it's my chest, and I should feel safe moving my body any way I want. And you get a positive reinforcement like we do in burlesque. It's either you look at yourself and you look, oh, I look pretty hot, or it's a teacher, or it's the other girls in class, or if you go on stage, it's the audience. All of this helps you rewire your brain so that you start rewriting your story. So if someday, one day, someone or whatever made you feel unsafe doing something that you're just supposed to be doing to your body, this helps you rewire that and reclaim that power. This is the whole thing the method is about. And I notice patterns. As you know, this is what we do as humans. I did another video on that. And I started to kind of relate to other things that were happening in my personal life. One thing I've been doing is I've been learning tarot. I always loved tarot since I was a kid. There was a big period in my life that I didn't do any of this. But as a kid, I had an altar, I had a cauldron. I was so much into like witchy things. And then I just had like 20 years of not doing any of this. And then I just feel called back to this part of me. And I've been studying and learning tarot for the past 6 months now. And then I think that these two things connected, right? Me being in class and doing a movement that I would move my arms like in a wave and being very flowy. And then I was like, well, that's very watery and it can feel very emotional and it opens up your chest because your movement comes from your chest and things like that. So I started making these connections little by little. So every time I did a movement that I touched my body or that I felt my feet strong in the ground, I was like, wow, I feel so grounded. It's so earth. It's so pentacle, energy. If you're into tarot, you know what I mean? And when I was creating my online program, which I did mostly, not mostly, 100%. Totally, because I want every woman on this planet to have a place. And I don't want this to be only for people who happen to live in Zurich, right? I want the women who may live in another country, another continent, and only has her room and maybe no options around her. If she has some internet connection, she can join me and we can share this safe space together. That's why I created the online community to start with. And it feels like everything just happened very organically. So tarot from my personal life and from just bringing back, my younger self, my inner child, to play, with what she already liked it to play as I was a kid. And what I'm living right now, this strong embodiment that I'm feeling, and the audacity that I didn't have before. Well, maybe I did, but I wasn't audacious enough to just do or say it. With technology, which I'm not a big pro, but it has always been in my life, and I love technology. It's a little tangent, but I grew up with my mom. I was in Brazil and my mom was in Japan. And we didn't have the technology we have nowadays. So I would wait a month to get a letter or to get a call on one of those old phones, like with the wired thing, And I had no image of my mom besides pictures. So that was a very long distance relationship with someone that's supposed to be so close to you. And nowadays, I can literally call my mom right now on WhatsApp and see her. I see her every week. She still lives in Japan. But now the technology allows you to do that. I could call grandma every day. And it's beautiful what technology can do for you. So I'm a big fan. So why not use that? Again, why not use things for good, right? Because the bad people will use things, regardless. So us, the good people, should also be using them for good. Yeah, and then I noticed, I was like, wow, feather fans is a lot like air and very swords, because it's also very technical, and swords are kind of your mind. And then I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And if I just put two and two together, there is the elements, there is a bit of tarot, and there is the journey. So in tarot, there is a journey. It's pretty much the story of the fool. So you start as a fool, and then you have what is the first card? I don't remember. But you start as a fool. You go through like lovers, magician. I think it's the magician, the first one. The magician just knows, then you have the table, you have your tools, but you don't really know what to do with your tools yet. The fool is a beginner. Then you have lovers. There is falling in love relationships. There is strength. There is death. There is tower. There is a tower moment. If you don't know, it's like a strong wake up call kind of thing. Until you reach the world, which is also a circle. And that's completion, after judgment and everything. So there is this whole very epic, story happening. And I was like, well, that's very similar to the journey of my student, the woman I see coming through my door, and the same journey that I am on. So you start as a fool. I remember my first steps. I remember not owning shoes and trying to dance in pointy shoes, and it didn't move right. And then I remember seeing all the tools, like, oh, look at me, I have everything it takes, I'm the whole package, but I didn't know what to do with that. And then I had my moments, that feeling down, feeling, it's like epic, like a beautifully written story. And then I was like, well, why can't that be the path? Why can't I use this as a method, as this is the pattern I recognize? And it can be so much more than that, right? Because it can be just names for if you want to do just the moves for now. But also there is a lot about journaling, and there is a lot of connection with discovering your path towards empowered feminine. Meaning, when I do a movement like, and I keep coming back to the melt, it's one of my favorites, but it's also the one that I taught publicly. So I will open this video again, so now you have access to that, so you can see what I'm talking about. But if I can think of that, like when I squat instead of bend forward, I'm changing my energy from chasing to grounding, from chasing to staying in my power and attracting. And so many of us are so used to chasing, and that's why we are all so exhausted, right? Instead of just building our garden, we tend to go after and rush and try to get things when we could just be enjoying, where we are, being more present in the moment. So the melt is also about that. So there is so much to be thinking about the shadow. So much to be thinking about how I feel about this and what can I learn from this and how can I use that. One of the things I suggest people do is just try at different spaces. I think I gave you the example in one of our other videos. When you breathe and take in the moment, anywhere, it can be just somewhere, just when you arrive at home, instead of rushing through your door to the kitchen to do whatever you're gonna do, like dinner, why not open your door and take in and the smell? Like, does it smell like flowers that you brought home? Are you bringing home flowers for yourself? Or maybe just perfume that you really like. Maybe admire the piece of art you have on your wall that you just put there because you love it. And now you barely look at it. So just taking that moment, take off your shoes. If you have pets, let them come and welcome you. Maybe sit with them for a while. I have pets, so I know they come. Just if you take like 2 minutes to just be there and look, and then you start doing whatever you came to do. And then also, sometimes I catch myself doing that. If you're cooking or doing something you really like, I don't enjoy cooking that much, but if I'm preparing something, and instead of just being there and feeling the smell and watching and just looking and just taking in the moment, I'm probably on my phone trying to reply to a message. It's like, no, let's take in this moment. And I feel like some of these movements, especially when I start an act, for example, I just did last Friday my pink bunny act, in which I start with turning and then I literally have almost a minute of just looking. It's just me taking in. It's like looking who is watching, who is not watching, and what am I doing? And then I look at myself. I admire my own glove. But it's just taking my time and setting my ground and showing, yes, I'm here. I'm present. Let's see what you have for me. And letting people see you too. Next step can be going to a cafe. Maybe a place you already know. Step in and then look. Instead of just rushing to the counter to order your coffee. Maybe step in, feel the difference in the air. Then maybe, when you're very daring, it can be a new place you've never been to. Step in and look, feel it. Yeah, a lot of it goes back to feeling in the moment. And of course, then you can journal about it. And as I just told you about the arm up, like you can think about, okay, how can I build more of these moments to feel safer and rewire my brain? So, in short, the whole methodology is about this. And I'll be sharing more of it. And I will be teaching that for the first season now. We just started. If you're watching this video later, maybe I'm doing a new session, who knows. But right now we are in July 2026 and I'm doing the first session. And if you watch this video right now, I will take in 2 more people for this season until 30th. So I'm posting this video today. So maybe if you watch this and this is for you, you can just click the link. I'll leave a link and I'll take 2 more for this journey for the first session. And it's nice and beautiful in the community and personal and yeah, juicy. I'm loving it. So yeah, that's it. Today is a little shorter video, but there will be way more. So thank you for watching. See you on chapter 4. And also more info videos.